DV802WD. So this is the HEPA rated 2-motor vacuum with a pump, and you're going to notice here 2 independent switches. So you can plug it into 110 volt, 20 amp service. You're going to be able to vacuum and pump at the same time. Produces a lot of CFM. 2 independent switches, so you turn each vacuum motor on independently. You'll see when you plug it in, it's going to have a light on. It's telling you, hey, I've got power. And then you have a separate pump here for a separate switch here for the pump. Take a look at the unit. It's stainless steel. It's very easy to move around. You have a single brake in the front, so if you need to put the brake on, you can put the brake on in the front. Another nice thing is in the back. The back has a drain, a manual drain, so you can open this up and you can drain the tank out. So when you come to your cleaning and you want to sanitize this later on, you can do a final rinse. You don't have to run the pump. You can just drain it right out the bottom anytime. Big wheels on the back, easy to move around. You'll see it's very stable, super powerful. And then again, you're vacuuming and pumping at the same time. Intake hose, easy to put on. You'll see that the inlet has a ridge in there, so you can put it on and it locks in place so it's not going to come out. Cam lock assembly on the pump drain, so that's where you're going to pump out the material. There are some clamps on the outside, so when you need to break this down, when you need to do your service, it's extremely easy. You're going to unplug it from the wall. You're going to unplug this plug. That is the plug that gives the pump energy. You undo your 2 clamps, and now you can start taking this apart. You're going to see that this has an extender ring on it, and your HEPA filter is protected inside of that extender ring. No maintenance required on that, so go ahead and just drop that. Now we're looking down onto the tank. First piece, you have a cone. This is your float. This is what's going to stop. Inside of here is a mesh filter. That's a demisting pad. So should you get a lot of foaming or whatnot inside of the tank as you're vacuuming, this is going to help alleviate that. You're going to want to back flush that. Just leave it in here and take a hose and push it backwards down into the tank. That's all you'll need to do to service that little mist filter. Next filter. You'll see they're all on gaskets. They fit nicely on here. Take this out. It's a mesh breathable filter. Back flush that as well. Always rinse it from the clean side back into the dirty side. So in this one, you're going to go in reverse and you're going to clean it from the inside and you're going to push the dust back out, or not dust, but just whatever grime and debris you have on there. So, all right, let's take a look inside the tank now. So now that you have that off, your inlet, remember this is your inlet coming in. We have a mesh bag in here. This is where all your solids are going to be. So you're going to be able to remove that. It's very easy to do. It has a little reversible right here. You just push your button on there, put your thumb on there, push that, and now you take that right off. Take this out, empty the solids, clean this out. Take a look down inside of the tank and what we've got going on. You have a separate metal ring. This separate metal ring is keeping that bag from getting into the area where your liquid is. So we're separating that. It's got plenty of room for liquid to pass through it. And then you have a separate return pump here. That's what we're energizing, and it has its own float. So that's going to turn on and off as it need to as the float goes up and down, and that's going to discharge the material. So to clean this out, you're going to back flush it. You're going to rinse it out. You have a valve on the bottom. You can turn the pump on. You can pump the pump out with fresh water as well. So easy to clean. Then you're just going to stack it all back up together, and away you go. So let's take a look how to reassemble your machine. Once you've already gone ahead and you've cleaned this out and you've run the pump with fresh water, reassembling it's easy. Remember, we have this threaded piece here, and it had a lock on here that lets you tighten that and loosen that. You're going to push the bag down. Just push the bag right here into this metal piece. Once you've done that, put this all the way over. You want to make sure it gets on this side. So you want to put that ring all the way on this side, and that's all you have to do. You're back together with the inlet bag. Then in reverse, we're going to put the first filter. First filter drops right on there. Push it around, make sure it sits properly all the way around. Your next piece, this is the float assembly with the demisting pad. Again, push that on, make sure it sits on there nicely. And then your final piece is going to be the HEPA extender with the HEPA filter and the motor deck. And you're going to drop it on there. Nice thing about this is you don't have to align anything. It doesn't matter where you put this, because these clamps operate any position along this rim. but you want to make sure that you have enough power cable for the pump. So when you put this on, you want to make sure that you at least, and this is seated nicely, have enough where your pump can be plugged in. You don't want to put any strain on there. So again, here's your inlet. Normally what we do is we align the switches nicely with the inlet, but make sure that your pump switch easily connects in there, and you're back together. 2 clamps, plug it back in, and you're ready to vacuum and pump at the same time. Let's show the DV802WD in action. And we're going to just simulate with a wand. You'd usually be picking up with a floor tool or something else, but we've consolidated all that liquid into a drum. We have some solid pieces of meat here as well. And what's nice about this machine is you can pick up liquid and you can pick up solids. And remember, that basket on the inside is going to take the solids out. Super powerful. We're using an 1.5-inch hose. It's important if you're ever emptying a tank, you don't want to just stick the wand all the way down in the bottom of the tank unless it has a bleeder tool. Anytime you deadhead the wand with water, it's going to choke the airstream. We always want to introduce the proper amount of air with the liquid. So for the simulation of this, you're going to see me put it into the liquid, and I'm going to just barely put the nozzle in so it's half water, half air to keep it moving, flowing. If you ever want to just evacuate a tank, we'll have a bleeder tool where we're bleeding air in at the nozzle, and we're going to flow fresh air in with the water, mix the air at the nozzle, and carry it away fast so it doesn't choke it. So let's just show it to you in action. Okay, so now you see that we've gone ahead, the pump is running, the vacuum is pumping. It's going to vacuum and pump, and it keeps up with each other. So it's not going to overcome the vacuum. Should you stop vacuuming water, then the pump is going to discharge. The pump's going to turn off automatically because of the internal float. But once that float says I need to start pumping again, as long as the switch is on, it's going to pump. So you want to make sure that you have the pump switch on, and that'll go ahead and start pumping when it needs to pump. But look at it, it's going to vacuum and pump all day long, and you don't have to worry about it catching up with each other. Okay, we're running just the pump here. So take a look. We have the pump moving full force, and it's going to fill up. Now remember, there's a float inside of here. So as soon as that float gets to a happy level where it says, hey, I don't need to pump anymore, it's going to turn off. And you're going to see this is just going to automatically stop pumping. And that's what just happened right now. I'm going to turn the vacuum back on. I haven't touched the float. I'm not touching the switch for the float. Watch what happens as we start to vacuum. When that float starts to move up again, you're going to see the pump's automatically going to kick on saying, I need to pump. Okay, turning the vacuum off. I'm going to go ahead and let this pump. I'm going to let the pump all the way down until it's satisfied where the float is closed. And then I'm going to open up the back end. I'm going to show you what's inside, what's left in there for the liquid. Remember, we have a manual drain on the back side of this that you can get the rest of the material. So now the pump has been satisfied, and it says, you know what? I don't need to pump anymore. I always close that just as a safety if you're using a shut-off valve. Then remember, we're going to disconnect power. So right now I'm going to disconnect the pump power. Everything is off. I turn the pump off. And now I'm going to start to open this up. And you're going to see that when you open this up, there is our HEPA filter system right here. Look at what's important. Bone dry, no mist, no water on this side of it. But when you look on the back side, you're going to see little water droplets inside of here. That's telling us that our demisting pad and our cyclonics is working properly. Then we have, remember, we've been vacuuming and pumping for a while on this. We have our filter system here. Again, you're going to back flush that to clean it. Then inside here, look at how little material. We have the solids that we collected. They're right here in this bag. Look at how little material is left. Here's that float I was talking about that makes the pump go on and on. So that's how much liquid you're always going to have in the bottom. Now you can flush this out through the little drain in the back here, and you can clean this out on a regular basis and get rid of all of that water that's in the bottom. So very easy to use, maintenance-free pump, solids, you got the basket in the solids, filtration, no mist up in the motor deck, powerful 2-motor vacuum, HEPA filtration, stainless steel, can vacuum and pump at the same time.